Hello, my name is Emil from the True Vikings metal detecting channel, and I'm going to teach you 8 tips and tricks where to metal detect on a big field. At the end of this video I will show you my own secret technique how to detect a flat, featureless field. If you follow my methods, I promise you, you will find treasure like this. 10-second video coming up now.
Oh, it looks good. It looks good, man. Ha 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 ha! That is a gold spiral. That's gold. Gold, gold, gold to the hole, gold to the hole. Woo!
Before we dive into the tips and tricks, we need to understand why some parts of the field is better than other parts. And it boils down to probabilities. Let's say for the past 500 years, 10 people visited one part of the field. Chances are low they're gonna drop something. But if 5,000 people have visited one small spot of the field, that's where we're gonna concentrate our search. That's where the noblemen would have dropped their gold coins. Enough said about that. Let's go to tip number 1, where to start metal detecting on a big field. The southern facing slopes. For example, if I would come to this field in Finland, the first spot I would metal detect is the southern facing slopes here. Because one thing that does not change throughout history is the location of the sun. The southern facing slopes would always have gotten the most sunlight. They would always have been the place where farming first started off. They would not be too wet for farming because water doesn't collect in the slopes, and the people farming, moving around there, they would have taken the rests, of course, in the sunlight. Just like you and me, they would not enjoy being in the shade. They would have preferred to chill out there on the slope. Tip number 2, topographical high points in the landscape. If the farmer would have given me permission for this field here and there are no obvious southern slopes, I would head to these tiny 2 hills here, and after that I would detect around the bigger hill. Well, why is that? Well, think about it. If you're a typical Finnish farmer 500 years ago, you would not have your afternoon shot of vodka there in the flat landscape. You might put in the extra effort to climb up that tiny hill and drink your shot there, overlooking your drunken kingdom. And another good point is that if you are to build a barn or a house or hut, you would not do it down there in the dirty field. You would climb a little bit higher to reduce the chance of getting your hut flooded. So topographical high features, very good place to metal detect. Tip number 3, passageways. If you take a really good look at the landscape, then every now and again you will find a nice natural funnel, a choke point where people must go through. If people wanted to move from west to east here, then first we have a big natural obstacle, the lake, and on the other side we have this mountain hilly side. No sane person would ever climb up those hills. Instead, they will get funneled through these flatlands here between the obstacles. Along the shore of the lake and next to the hills here are perfect flat landscapes that people throughout time would have had to walk past, even before there were fields here. And same can be said over here on the right hand side of the map. If people wanted to move from south to north, they would get funneled between these 2 hills here. And that's exactly where I would search, because the more people again moving through an area, the more chance of them dropping goodies for you to find. A great example of using passageways to our advantage is when my buddy Joel found a 6th century brooch on such a passageway leading from the shore of the Baltic Sea up to the nearby Iron Age village. What a day, what a find. And what do you know? They matched up perfectly.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Tip number 4, high iron content in the ground. By now you probably have a few spots to visit already, but I would suggest to you that when you go there, don't discriminate the iron. You don't necessarily need to dig up all the iron, but it's good to know where there are more iron in the ground, because again, the more people who moves around about in an area, the more iron they will drop. Horseshoe nails, scrap metals, wherever people have been moving about, there's always iron in the ground. If you find an iron hotspot, you better check that area carefully, because in between the iron signals, the goodies are gonna be coins and valuables, jewelry, watches. I would like to remind you that for every like this video get, we're gonna donate 1 cent to an animal shelter. So support the kitty cats and hit that like button. Here on this channel we might be tough Vikings, but we have a soft spot for animals. Let's move on to tip number 5. Entrance to the field. How many times have I not been detecting the far side of the field, found nothing, and when I returned to my car, just 10 meters from where I started off, I hit the jackpot. It just goes to show you that that's the place where people get funneled through. They might not necessarily stay around there, but at least they move through that area. If we have a look at this map, where you yourself enter the field today is probably the location where they also did it a couple hundred years ago. And a good way to find the entrance to the field is to look for the nearest big farm, the big house, the big local village, because that's where the people working the field would have come from. And that's the way they have to take to reach your field. And that's where you're gonna find the goodies. Tip number 6, LiDAR data. If you have access to LiDAR hillshade topographical data, please use it. It's a fantastic tool to find treasure. My detecting buddy in crime, Joel, made a fantastic video about how to use that. To give you the short version, satellites picks up minuscule changes in the landscape that's not visible with the naked eye or even on topographical maps. For example, here we have this linear feature. Very strange. Could it be an ancient road? And the linear feature leads to this circular feature in the landscape. Could it be a ring fort? Maybe, maybe not. And talking about weird stuff, what goes on here in the bottom right corner of the map? Strange holes. Whatever these features are, they're worth investigating. And just by this quick example here, you probably realized what a strong tool this is in your arsenal. Please use LiDAR data. It will increase your chances of finding treasure and identifying good locations to hunt. Tip number 7, old maps. Combine all of this knowledge that I've just given you with old maps. Compare how the landscape looked back in the day to how it looks now. And maybe based on that data you will find an interesting spot to metal detect. Perhaps these windmills here marked on this map, or maybe you find a house or a barn on an old map that there's no indications of nowadays. Most nations have digitalized their old maps nowadays, so try locating old historical maps from your region and it will give you a huge boost in finding that treasure that you're looking for. One more tip to go before I reveal my super method of finding treasure. Tip number 8, a follow-up of your find. I see this mistake being done all the time. You're out there with your friends and they find the most amazing thing ever, maybe a silver coin from the medieval times, and then 5 minutes later they are somewhere far on the other side of the field where the grass is greener, digging up new holes. Wait a minute, now is the perfect time to really scan that area. You have the most amazing indicator of a hotspot you could ever get. I would suggest doing grid lines, walking first up and then changing direction 90 degrees, walking down to really get the tiniest treasure that is there. If you learn anything from this video, don't do that mistake. By now I have given you a lot of tips where to start detecting on a field. But what if the field is featureless, huge, there's nothing to go on, where to start, when to finish? I will reveal to you my method now that I have spent years perfecting. Remember that tip number 4, to look for high iron content in the ground? That's exactly what I do, but I do it in a very particular pattern. I start by walking diagonally across the field, both ways, but I don't dig up the iron signals. I just mentally note where they are. And when I'm done with that, I walk along the edges until I have covered all the edges of the field, and by then I have a good idea of the high iron content hotspots. Maybe here, maybe it's over there, and then it's time to pounce. I just hit those areas and I scan them. By applying this secret True Vikings method, I believe I have found a lot of treasure that other detectorists have missed, because they have just randomly been crisscrossing a little bit here and there, and that way it's hard to locate the hotspots. But now I have revealed my secret technique, and now it's your responsibility to find that treasure out there. Good luck, friends! If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe and check the video library for our other content. See you next time!